Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aurora's Committee of Adjustment meeting. The time is 7:01 p.m. on Thursday, March the 13th, 2025. I'd like to call this Committee of Adjustment meeting to order. I will start by introducing the committee members and staff. I'm the committee chair. My name is Alida Tari, and the remaining members are as follows: Michael Visconti, who's the vice chair, John Hartman, Claudia Watts, Maricela Sadesa, and the secretary is Peter Fan, and our senior planner is Antonio Greco. The town of Aurora acknowledges that the Anishinaabe lands on which we live and work are the traditional and treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island, as well as many other nations whose presence here continues to this day. As the closest First Nation community to Aurora, we recognize the special relationship the Chippewas have with the lands and the waters of this territory. They are the water protectors and environmental stewards of these lands, and as a municipality, we join them in these responsibilities. We further acknowledge that Aurora is part of the treaty lands of the Mississaugas and Chippewas, recognized through Treaty Number 13, as well as the William Treaties of 1923. A shared understanding of the rich cultural heritage that has existed for centuries and how our collective past brought us to where we are today will help us walk together into a better future. If I could please have someone approve the agenda. So if I could get a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Michael, and can I get a second?
I move approval of the agenda.
Okay, and if I can please get a seconder? John, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Are there any declaration of interest? Excellent. Seeing none. Thank you very much. The next item is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. If I could please get a motion to approve those minutes. Moved by Claudia, and if someone could second it.
I move to approve the past minutes.
Thank you. And if I can please get a seconder. Marcella, thank you very much. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Tonight's public meeting is being audio and video recorded. It is also being conducted virtually and through the use of Zoom technology. Your name, address, comments, and any other personal information are being recorded according to the Municipal Act and the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. This will help our town clerk prepare accurate minutes and to create a record that is available to the general public, including on the town's website. Questions about this collection should be directed to the town clerk. Please be advised that the reports being considered tonight are available on the Town of Aurora website and through staff at the town's planning department. Should you wish to receive notification of any of the decisions of tonight's meeting, please complete the appropriate form available through town staff. Applicants and agents will automatically be notified. For each application that will be considered tonight, the following process will occur. I will briefly outline the purpose of the application, and then the applicant or agent will then be given the opportunity to make a presentation. It is the applicant's decision whether they wish to speak or to let the application proceed on the merits of the information as received. Presentations and deputations are limited to 5 minutes as much as possible. Following any initial comments from the applicant, I will invite members of the public who have an interest in the application to please come forward and address the committee. Those members of the public who wish to speak must clearly state their name and address and must provide this information to the Secretary Treasurer. Should you wish to obtain a copy of the notice of decision, please complete the appropriate form available through the Secretary Treasurer. Members of the public are reminded that text comments are not permitted during the meeting and that they will not be noted in any manner or at any time. Each individual may speak only once on an issue, and once discussion has commenced in respect of a motion, no further presentation shall be made. If you require any technical assistance with your presentation, please let us know. If you wish to speak and are currently following this meeting on the YouTube feed, you will need to turn this feed off and join the live meeting, as there is a slight lag between the YouTube and the live feed. Please ensure that all of your questions and/or comments are directed through me as the chair, and if relevant, I will request the appropriate person to respond. It should be noted that the applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to any questions or comments should the committee feel that is appropriate. So our first application tonight, 6.1, from Hunzak Holding Inc., 24 Desjardins Way, file MV-2025-02. For this one, subsequent to the distribution of the notice of the public meeting, which was dated February 26, 2025, for the above noted minor variance application for 24 Desjardins Way, the applicant has requested to withdraw the application. And this was by way of an email dated March 6, 2025. Now, Peter, you don't need a motion just to accept that, right? Well, is that fine just stating it?
Through you, Madam Chair, I would require a motion to defer the application or withdraw the application.
The application? Okay, so if I could please get a motion that the application will be withdrawn. Thank you, Michael. And if I could please get a seconder for that motion or withdrawing the application. Thank you, John. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 6.2 is also a minor variance application by Ashraf Zalul, 75 Watkins Glen Crescent, and it's file MV-2025-05. Planning staff are requesting a deferral for this minor variance application at 75 Watkins Glen Crescent. Staff require additional time for commenting agents, specifically Central York Fire Services, to review the subject application. The application proposes to widen a portion of an existing residential driveway from 3.1 meters to a maximum of 6.0 to accommodate an additional parking spot. However, the portion of the driveway expansion extends in front of the front door of the townhouse dwelling unit. As such, staff require consultation and comments from CYFS to understand any potential impacts to emergency service operations resulting from the driveway expansion. As a result, staff are requesting the subject application be deferred for consideration pending CYFS's review and approval of the proposed development. The applicant has also been made aware, and they concur with the deferral of this recommendation. So if I could please get a motion that this application be deferred to a later date. Thank you, Marcel. And if I can please get a seconder. Thank you, Claudia. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. So that takes us to item 6.3, 12 Kimona Road, file MV-2025-01. The applicant owner is requesting relief from the requirements of the town's comprehensive zoning bylaw 6000-17 as amended to recognize a recently constructed open porch and stairs. The following relief is being requested. A, Section 4.20 of the zoning bylaw states open porches require a minimum front yard of 4.5 meters. The applicant has constructed a front porch, which is 3.3 meters from the front property line. And B, Section 4.20 of the zoning bylaw states steps require a minimum front yard of 4.5 meters. The applicant has constructed porch steps, which are 1.8 meters from the front property line. I believe, Peter, that do we have, is it the applicant?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, we have the applicant and the architect here with us tonight.
Okay,
They're just joining the call.
thank you. Hi. You're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks very much.
We're just
If I could please get a if I could please get you to state your name and if you can let us know if if you have a presentation for us or not.
So
for
I'm
tonight's
just
meeting.
listening in. My engineer or my designer is actually, I believe, trying to come in on the meeting right now as we speak. And
Okay.
I'm just going to be listening in, but he's going to be representing me.
Okay, if you can just state your name for
My
the
name
record.
is yeah, sure. My name is Gilbert Paseggi. I own 12 Cumano Road. I live at 290 Kennedy Street West in Aurora, and yes, we're trying to get the staircase accepted based on we couldn't build anything else that would get us access to the front door based on today's setback requirements. I wonder where Peter is here. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
No
Peter's got
problem.
all the information.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
So essentially, with the new setback requirements that are present today with the town, we couldn't build 4 pressure treated steps to the front door and be within that bylaw setback requirement. Just because back then, I guess, these certain setbacks weren't in effect and they just built the house however they deemed fit. They built it awfully close to the property line. We built a smaller porch that was there before because the one that was there before was decrepit and falling apart. As you can see, I gave Peter Fan a few photos earlier today. I forwarded him some photos and you can see the before and you can see the after. The before photos show the porch almost, well, it was falling apart at some sections by the wall, by the front of the house. And then the front railing actually fell over completely on its own. And the old original porch was larger than what we have now and nowhere as cosmetically pleasing. We tried to keep it as close to as small of a porch as possible. We didn't make a large porch like it was before, but I wasn't aware, to be honest with you, I would have waited, but I wasn't aware that non-structural had to be with permit just because it was just 2 retaining walls with gravel in the middle and some steps going up to it. There was no attachment to the house. It wasn't a structural item that, you know, required fastening of any sorts. So I apologize, or else we would have waited for Committee of Adjustments to give us the okay with it. But as I mentioned, as it stands now, if the stairwell is not, if this is not acceptable, then we could not technically build with pressure treated stairs. We would have to use a side door, for instance, to get inside the house, because today's setback requirements don't permit us to build anything that falls within those setback requirements. And I'm not sure what happened to my designer or my engineer, but he's not here. I apologize. I'm doing my best. He was supposed to have his presentation all together. So I apologize if I'm missing anything out, but I think I pretty much got the gist of it. We have a situation where where we're at now, we have this structure that costs quite a bit of money to build. It's very nice. It's still far away from the property. It fits in with the property, with the other houses. There's a bunch of other houses in the area that have the same sort of steps, actually closer to the front curb, which is not the property line, and they're even closer than what mine are. What else can I say to you guys? Any other questions or?
Can you not hear me?
Oh, Peter!
I'm here.
There we go. Okay,
I've
sorry
been here
guys.
since the
I'll let
beginning.
Peter
Oh,
take
I think I had myself on mute, which I think I fixed now.
over.
Peter, if you could just do us a favor, and if you could please just state your name and I guess
Yes.
the name of your firm as well, just so that it's
Yes.
captured in the meeting
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Peter Whittleton. I do designing work for both architectural and HVAC designs. I guess that's about it.
Thank you. And I'm assuming, I don't know if you have a presentation for the committee today, or was everything covered from Gilbert?
I think pretty much everything was covered with Gilbert. I know we because like I said, the old porch, as soon as we saw the old porch, I went, oh, that's unsafe. Like I didn't want to get on it. And I feel pretty safe in a lot of weird places, and I did not feel safe on that deck. So I was nervous to be on that deck. So I said we got to do something with that deck. We either got to fix it or get rid of it. And fixing it was just not feasible.
Thank you for that. I guess my question, Peter Fan, our secretary, are there any members of the public that want to speak to this application?
Through you, Madam Chair, there are no members of the public that wish to delegate for this application.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the committee members? Michael?
Through you, Madam Chair, just a question for the applicant. I noticed in the package, I went through the report, excellent staff report, by the way, and I see that in the second page of your drawings, was there an addition put onto this house?
Not that I'm aware of. The house that was built, I'm gonna guess in the 50s. It's all solid masonry construction. The garage, I don't know if the garage was, I'm assuming it was put on sometime after that, simply because at the time the house was built, they didn't do a lot of garages. As to when that garage was put on, don't know. Not recently. I'm thinking it was back, who knows, in the 70s maybe.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the drawing, which shows a master bedroom and a kitchen where the garage is.
Yes, one of the proposals is to turn the garage, which is existing, into an accessory dwelling unit.
So that hasn't happened yet. You're proposing that in the future, or is that?
Well, I think Aurora allows 3 dwelling units on the property.
Yeah, so
So that's,
what I'm asking is, you didn't apply for a permit for the porch. Is that the existing configuration of the residence right now, as we were seeing on that, drawing? I
I'm
guess
sorry, I
the
didn't-
question for town staff as well.
Through you, Mr. Chair, can you repeat the question? Are you speaking towards the porch or the accessory unit that's that the applicant is going to be proposing in the future?
Well, that's a future proposal. That's
It's
the question.
the minor variance has to do with the porch. Any residential units have the 3 units as of right, but has no merit for tonight's application. Tonight strictly has to do with the porch. So
Yeah, I understand. Well,
Yeah.
that was my question, because it's kind
the
of
porch is intended to access the main dwelling unit.
okay. Yeah, and it was completed without a building permit. So my question is, if in the future there's a secondary residence proposed for the garage, will there be a need to do another committee of adjustment, report, or something else is happening?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to Michael, that depends on whether, so they'll need a secondary entrance for the accessory unit. But if
Yeah,
they comply
that's-
with the zoning bylaw, then a minor variance application wouldn't be needed. It all
Okay.
depends on whether they'll comply with the bylaw in force or not.
Yeah. I'm always, I've been on the committee a few years, and anytime somebody comes in with a minor variance application whereby they haven't applied for a building permit to begin with, I'm kind of like not happy about that, because I think that, we should be, as a municipality, looking to have building permits first, and then, or a committee of adjustment approval before the construction of anything. So I'm just making a comment here, and and that's it.
Thank you, Michael. Does anybody else have any other comments or questions? John, go ahead.
Through you, Madam Chair, I wouldn't mind hearing from either the applicant or the company, why wasn't a permit?
so can I, sorry, I had my mute button on. I was trying to ask for a question, if I can ask a question. So we do have permits for the entire project. The entire project has permits. The permits are in place. Everything is approved. Just the porch, I actually originally have the porch on the permit. Now that's why we're applying to you guys in order for but we have the permit in place for the porch, for the building itself. 150, we have a permit. This is what we're working with right now. So I'm not sure why I was told that we didn't have a permit. Originally, when we started the actual construction of the porch, okay, the permit was coming. We were always in town for a permit. We have the permit in hand now as we speak. We just need a committee of adjustments approval for that porch, the way it's designed now.
Okay, so just to clarify for my own sake, the permitting process was in progress while you were building it.
The permit was received and we built the porch.
Okay,
I wasn't aware that we even needed a permit for that sort of porch, is what I was trying to tell you before.
the staff report seems to cause a little bit of grayness in that, but thank you.
I
Gilberto.
apologize that I should have mentioned that earlier. I didn't make that clear, but we 150% have our permits in place. It's just a matter of us being able to use the front door and not having to use the side door. That's all this is now, is trying to get permission to let this porch stay in place and being able to use it as an access point instead of having to use the side door. And to answer your question, Mr. Board member, the garage is converted into a secondary dwelling, and we have permits for that. We've gone through all the protocols, paid all the fees, everything is in place for it. Of course, I would never do any other.
Yeah, we also have we have currently designed an entrance at the rear, which doesn't really make a lot of sense for, because the back of the house to get into the secondary, to get into the ground floor unit, which is why we want to have access to the front of the house. That obviously makes more sense to come in the front of your house than trying to get them in the back.
Thank you both for the clarification. Antonio, I see that you have your hand raised.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Just for the benefit of the committee, without getting into too much of a rabbit hole with the permit, it is our understanding that the owner demolished and reconstructed a new porch and stairs without a building permit. Then from there, it was understood that this porch and stairs didn't meet the zoning bylaw, which then triggered the need for a minor variance, which is why we're here tonight. A building permit would have not been issued if the project did not meet the zoning bylaw.
Well,
So, yes.
The permit was issued, hang on, Gilbert, the permit was issued except for the front porch.
Well, that's exactly that, which is why you're here.
Yeah, the front porch.
I'm not talking about the home, I'm talking about strictly the porch and stairs. Building permit wouldn't have been issued for the porch and stairs because it didn't comply. That's why the minor variance application is here before us tonight.
Right.
Sorry, to clarify something on that as well, guys. I was given, with the town, the building department, that we had to provide proof of receipt that we were applying to committee of adjustments to show in good faith that we were going to get a through the committee of adjustments. That's why the permit was issued. Under that circumstance as well, because we needed to show them that we were going to be going through the proper channels and not just try to go back and use the steps in the future without getting that okayed by the committee of adjustments. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Do we have any other comments from the committee? I don't see any other ones. Does anybody have a motion? Oh, sorry, Marcella. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, just one quick, now, I don't see on the drawings any of the railings, for the front entrance. I just want to make sure that's all gonna be, once it's finalized, that this porch will have.
Yes, once we apply for,
Yeah. Once it's
our
everything-
official permit for that, then yes,
Yeah.
we'll have correct handrails, guards, and so on and
Everything
so
else.
forth.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, right now we're just trying to get the approval to get the permit, and then we'll
Finish
fix
off?
all.
Yeah, okay, that's all.
Thank you. Can I get a motion from someone? Any member? Michael?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I move that application for minor permit file number MV-2025-01 be approved, subject to the conditions in the appendix.
Thank you. And if I can get a seconder for that motion? Claudia? Thank you. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I just ask a quick question? Did you guys see the photos of the old porch by curiosity? Did Peter submit them to you?
No,
The
those were-
photographs.
Those,
I just grabbed them from the Zillow listing, the realtor listing, so I was able
Oh,
to
yeah.
see that.
Yeah, sorry, I emailed Peter photos earlier today. to propose to show you guys, but it'll give you a description. It'll show you what was there before, like a close-up look. That railing that's in the Zolo photos with the masonry brick fell over, and it was a hazard. The house was totally unkept by the previous owner, and it was basically condemned. So we've invested a lot of money into recouping everything and cleaning it all up and trying to better the house on the street, so it's more presentable and it's a nice house in the neighborhood instead of what it was before. But I thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Peter, before I do the introduction for item 6.4, do you want me to just wait till the agent and applicant come on? No? Okay. Okay, so the next one is item 6.4, and it's for 43 Valley Crescent. It's file number MV-2025-03. The owner applicant is requesting relief from the requirement of the town's comprehensive zoning bylaw 6000-17 as amended to permit an existing enclosed basement walk-up addition to the existing two-story detached dwelling. The following relief. Before I do the introduction for item. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Madam Chair, that was a feedback from one of the applicants.
Okay. Sorry. So I'll go back to the following relief is being requested. Section 7.2 of the zoning bylaw requires a minimum exterior side yard of 6.0 meters. The existing enclosed basement walk-up addition is 4.6 meters to the exterior side property line, thereby requiring a variance of 1.4 meters. And Peter, if you can let us know the applicant and agent if they're in, and if I could have you please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Yu. I am the applicant for this project at 43 Valley Crescent. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so we are applying for a variance to allow for an existing walk-up stair with an enclosure.
Sorry to interrupt, Madam Chair. Can the applicant mention state their address for the record, please?
Yeah, it's 43 Valley Crescent, Aurora.
Thank you.
Sorry, so is that all that you have for the benefit of the committee members, or do you have like an actual presentation for us?
Yeah, I'm just stating like the current situation because they have existing walk-up stairs built by the previous owner, and it is encroaching on the exterior side yard. So I believe the permitted setback was like 6 meters, but right now it's 4.5 meters. So we'll need a relief from the zoning bylaw to permit for this existing stair.
Okay, thank you for that. And Peter, I believe there is a member of public who would like to address the committee.
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, there is a member of the public that wishes to delegate for this application. Her name is Crystal. Crystal, before you unmute, I do ask that you please turn off the live stream. Otherwise, we'll have that echo. Crystal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that.
Crystal, can you please turn off the live stream?
Peter, I believe. So we're asking, you've joined us on a Zoom link, so you can remain on the Zoom link. If you have the live stream in the background of this meeting, if you can please close that Because what happens is if you're addressing us, there's the echo in the background.
Okay, now to tell you the truth, I haven't understood a thing that was said because there seemed to be three people
Right.
talking.
Okay.
And I'm here to represent my neighbor, Wyman Zing.
If you could please state your full name and your address for the committee.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I had applied to be part of the hearing tonight. It's Crystal Ray, and I'm at 128 Crawford Rose Drive. I'm right opposite Mr. Zing's house.
Okay. So we will provide you 5 minutes if you'd like to make a deputation.
Well, we had discussed the project, and both the landlord here, the owner of the house, and I were both in agreement that the walkout on that side of the street would be okay with us. We have no problems with it.
So you're in support of?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Do any of the committee members have any questions or anything? Or no, seeing none? Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Are there any questions for staff or anyone on this application from the committee? Any discussion? Or Marcella?
Yeah, so I wasn't really able to see, well, I drove by, but I wasn't able to really see the enclosure. I just want to get this straight. Was that already in place before, or was this an additional, the enclosure, my understanding is that the stairs were there and then the enclosure came after?
You're muted. If you can unmute yourself, thank you.
So both the stairs and the enclosure were existing.
Okay. That's all, I just need that clarification. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I get a motion from someone for this application? John? You're muted, John. You're still muted.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now? Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, thank you.
Technology when you're retired. I move to approve the application MV 2025-03 at the property of 43 Valley Crescent, Aurora, Ontario, as per the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Thank you, and if I could please get a seconder? Marcella, thank you very much. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that takes us to item 6.5 on tonight's agenda. And this is for 220 Industrial Parkway South, Unit 23. The file number is MV 2025-04. The owner applicant is requesting relief from the requirements of the town's comprehensive zoning bylaw 6000-17 as amended to permit a personal service shop use. The following relief is being requested. Section 10.1 E2 General Employment Zone of the zoning bylaw 6017 does not list personal service shop as a permitted use. The applicant is proposing a personal service shop. So I believe, do we have the applicant with us this evening? If you could unmute, if you could please state your name and your address for the record.
Good evening, members of the committee, town staff, and fellow attendees. My name is Nissan Nataraja, 286 Golden Avenue, Markham, Ontario. And this is my wife,
Margareta Janandakumar.
Thank you. Do you have a presentation for us tonight, or you just want to verbally address?
Yeah, just a little brief thing to say. So we're the applicants of this minor variance application, hoping to open a cosmetic and aesthetic service shop in Aurora, specializing in advanced skincare and non-invasive treatments. We are here today to request a minor variance to allow a personal service shop at 220 Industrial Parkway South, Unit 223, which is currently zoned for general employment. I just want to start with a brief background. So for the past 10 years, Margreta has been proudly serving the Aurora community in the same line of work. So since 2015, she worked for an aesthetic shop in Aurora, providing specialized cosmetic and skincare treatments. Unfortunately, due to severe rainfall last summer, the business suffered flooding and damage that led to mold issues, making the location unsafe for operation. So as you may recall, heavy rainfall caused flooding across the GTA last summer. So after the closure, the shop moved to a temporary space, but as it was only a short-term solution, it had to be vacated by the end of 2024. The business owner chose to retire at that time, unable to find another suitable location. As a result, operations ceased, leaving both Margreta and the office manager unemployed. Recognizing the ongoing demand for these services and our strong connection to the community, we made the decision to open our own business to continue serving Aurora residents. Additionally, we plan to rehire the office manager, a longtime Aurora resident who is currently unemployed due to the business closure. So our business will provide professional cosmetic and aesthetic services similar to those offered by other self-care professionals, many of which are already permitted in employment zones. We believe that approving this variance will support local economic growth by bringing back jobs to the community, provide a valued service to Aurora residents who previously relied on our treatments, and ensure a smooth transition for past clients, many of whom have already expressed interest in our reopening. We understand the importance of zoning regulations in maintaining balanced land use. However, we'd like to emphasize that our aesthetic shop operates by appointment only, resulting in minimal traffic and no disruption to surrounding businesses. We produce no excessive noise, emissions, or waste, making us a low-impact business in the area. And parking is sufficient, and our operations do not create any congestion or require additional infrastructure. So we do believe this variance is minor in nature. Our business does not change the character of the area or introduce significant impacts. It is desirable for the development of the land, and the shop will restore a much-needed service to Aurora while bringing back jobs. So in conclusion, the minor variance would allow us to rebuild a trusted business, restore employment, and continue serving the Aurora community, a place where we have been proud to be part of for over a decade. So lastly, we just respectfully request the committee's approval and sincerely appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Peter, do we have any requests for deputations on this application?
Through you, Madam Chair, there are no public delegations for this application.
Thank you, Peter. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Michael?
Through you, Madam Chair, just a question for staff. I see through the report that there's no discussion whatsoever about parking. Now I know the location there. There's a pizzeria. There's a chicken takeout. Is there any issue with parking? Has staff looked at that at all? Or by the way, thank you to the applicant. That was an excellent presentation. Thank you. Just wondering if there's any issues with parking. Would there be in the future?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Michael. Parking was reviewed on a comprehensive basis. So they take the parking rates for the entire plaza and all the amount of units. And then as long as they meet the minimum requirements, there's no non-conformity. So this, the addition of this business would not create any parking deficiencies. There's ample amount of parking in that area to serve all the currently operating and newly operating businesses.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, Is there someone who will put a motion forward? Claudia?
I move to approve the application MV 2025-04 at 220 Industrial Parkway South, Unit 23, as per the condition outlined in the staff report.
Thank you, Claudia. Can I please get a seconder? Everybody tonight. John, I'll take you as a seconder. All in favor? The motion is carried. Thank you. And thank you.
Before we go, I also want to echo what Michael said. That was an exceptional presentation. It was really good. So you should feel good as husband and wife doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. Okay. So that concludes all of the items on our agenda for tonight. Our next agenda item is new business. If anybody has new business. Seeing none. So we are now at adjournment. So if I can please get someone to move adjournment. Michael. Thank you. So we move at 7:41 to adjourn the Committee of Adjustment meeting.